Once upon a time, in a prosperous kingdom nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, there lived a wealthy merchant with 3 daughters. The 2 eldest were vain and spoiled, always demanding fine gowns, jewels, and luxuries. But the youngest, named Beauty, was kind-hearted, gentle, and content with simple joys like reading books and tending the garden. She was as beautiful in spirit as she was in appearance, with flowing dark hair, bright eyes, and a smile that warmed the hearts of all who knew her. The merchant's fortunes turned when a storm destroyed his ships at sea, plunging the family into poverty. They moved to a modest cottage on the edge of the woods, where the older sisters complained endlessly about their lost comforts. Beauty, however, adapted gracefully, rising early to cook, clean, and care for the household with quiet cheer. One day, word came that one of the merchant's lost ships had arrived safely in port. Filled with hope, he prepared to travel to the city to reclaim his goods. Before leaving, he asked his daughters what gifts they desired. The eldest demanded a silk gown embroidered with gold. The middle sister wanted a necklace of pearls. But Beauty, seeing her father's weary face, asked only for a single rose, as none grew near their cottage. The merchant set off, but upon arriving, he found his cargo seized by creditors. Penniless once more, he began the long journey home through a fierce blizzard. Lost and freezing in the dark forest, he stumbled upon a magnificent castle shrouded in mist. The gates swung open mysteriously, and inside, a warm fire crackled in a grand hall with a table laden with hot food and wine. No one appeared, but the merchant ate gratefully and slept in a lavish bed. In the morning, he found fresh clothes waiting. As he prepared to leave, he wandered into the castle's garden and spotted a bush of blooming roses. Remembering Beauty's request, he plucked one. Instantly, a deafening roar shook the air. A hideous beast emerged, tall and muscular, covered in thick fur, with sharp claws, fangs, and piercing yellow eyes. A terrifying beast demands payment for the rose. What fate awaits the merchant and his innocent daughter? Discover the dark bargain in Part 2. Like and subscribe to uncover the curse. Part 2. Beauty's sacrifice, ungrateful thief. The beast bellowed. I gave you shelter and food, and you repay me by stealing my rose. Trembling, the merchant fell to his knees and explained it was for his youngest daughter. The beast's rage softened slightly. Your life is forfeit, but I will spare you if one of your daughters comes here willingly to take your place. She must stay with me forever. Go, return in 3 days with your answer, or I will hunt you down. The merchant rode home in despair and told his daughters everything. The older sisters blamed Beauty. If you hadn't asked for that foolish rose, father would be safe. But Beauty, with tears in her eyes, insisted, I will go, father. It is my fault, and I will save you. On the 3rd day, Beauty and her father arrived at the castle. The gates opened, and a sumptuous dinner awaited them, served by invisible hands. The beast appeared, his voice gruff but polite. Merchant, you may leave at dawn. Beauty, are you here of your own free will? Yes, she replied bravely, though her heart pounded. The beast nodded. Then you shall want for nothing. But every evening, you must dine with me and answer one question. Will you marry me? Beauty shuddered but agreed. Her father left in sorrow, and Beauty was left alone in the enchanted castle. At first, she wandered the vast halls in fear, expecting horror. But the castle was magical, rooms filled with books, musical instruments that played themselves, gardens blooming eternally. Invisible servants attended her every need, whispering kind words. Trapped in a magical castle with a monstrous beast, will Beauty survive his nightly question? Their unlikely bond begins in Part 3. Hit like if you're intrigued. Part 3. The Beast's Gentle Heart. Each evening, the beast joined her for dinner. He was clumsy and beastly in manner, but his conversations revealed a gentle soul, knowledgeable about literature, music, and the stars. Beauty grew less afraid, finding him intelligent and even kind. Yet when he asked, will you marry me? She always answered softly, no, beast. Months passed. Beauty missed her family terribly. One night, she confided this to the beast. Touched by her honesty, he gave her a magic mirror to see her loved ones. Through it, she saw her father ill with grief. Please, let me visit him one last time, she begged. The beast sighed deeply. You may go for 1 week. But if you do not return, I will die of sorrow. He gave her a ring. Twist it on your finger, and it will bring you back. Beauty promised and twisted the ring, finding herself home instantly. Her father wept with joy, and even her sisters feigned happiness, though secretly jealous of her fine clothes and jewels from the castle. The sisters plotted to keep her longer, pretending sorrow at her leaving. Beauty, soft-hearted, stayed an extra day, then another. Beauty delays her return, unaware of the danger. What heartbreak awaits the beast and her? The dream that changes everything in Part 4. Subscribe for the twist. Part 4. The breaking of the curse on the 8th night. She dreamed of the beast lying dying in the garden, calling her name weakly. Horrified, she twisted the ring and returned. She searched frantically and found the beast collapsed by the rose bush, barely breathing. "Oh, beast," she cried, cradling his head. "Don't die. I was wrong to stay away. I love you. Please marry me." At her words, a brilliant light enveloped the beast. His fur melted away, his claws retracted, and before her stood a handsome prince with kind eyes. "I was cursed by a wicked fairy," he explained. "Only true love, freely given, could break the spell. You have saved me, Beauty. The curse is broken, but what of Beauty's jealous sisters? Their dark fate and the joyous wedding await in Part 5. Like and comment if you believe in true love. Part 5. Happily ever after they married in a grand celebration. Beauty's father joined them in the castle, and her sisters, punished for their jealousy, were turned into statues at the gates until they learned humility. Beauty and the prince ruled wisely, their love growing deeper each day, proving that true beauty lies within. And so they lived happily ever after. Thank you for watching the full dark tale. If this longer version enchanted you, like, subscribe, and share for more.